Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Today's session of this special event, we are making a game in one session. I've chosen to make a shoot 'em up game, aka Shmoops. I won't be duplicating anything concrete. I'm just gonna make something up of that genre. I expect it to be tougher, more difficult, and a longer process than usual. So that's why I'm starting a little bit sooner. There's a wiki page about the description for shoot 'em up games. It's gonna be right there in the project itself. And another link for a nice site with assets. I've downloaded a simple pack for the graphics. So there's one enemy, another enemy, explosion animation, some projectiles, and a player's ship. As you can see from the spreadsheets, I will try to have at least a simple animations this time. Graphics are a big part of this genre, so we can't omit that as we usually do. I'm focusing on the mechanics, but this time we should have it a little nicer. Okay, let's begin with the analysis. Analysis, what's the proper pronunciation? And what are we going to need? So definitely the player's ship. So let's call it a ship. The enemies, the enemy ship. For the player, we're also gonna need the projectiles, maybe as well as for the enemies. Gonna have the animation. Of course, the controls. I guess the same for the enemy ships. Some kind of movement. They should be flying around the screen. They might be shooting back at the player, right? Should be. Then for the game logic, of course, the collisions, explosion, animation, I don't know, maybe a score counter. What else? Is there gonna be some UI? I don't think so. Maybe some power-ups. That's a big part. And the other art thing I wanted to have is the parallax background, but we'll see time-wise how I'm gonna do, and I also don't have too much graphics for that. We'll see. Well, let's start with the player part. Okay, so let's call it maybe a ship. What is happening? Oh, the other thing to mention is that I've switched to .NET 8 that just released this week, but this will mean like zero difference for us. It's just nice to have it. And if you're going to download the repository, you can either switch back to 7 and everything should work as usual, or just download the current framework. So for the ship, definitely gonna have a position, right? Gonna need a texture with the sprite sheet, but we'll have to. Hello, Domino. What's new in .NET 8? Nothing that important for me, to be honest. I went through the changelog. I think there was just like 1 or 2 things that I could use in my day-to-day basis, and one was the initialization of arrays and lists, maybe. Let's maybe take a short look. New features, maybe something like that. What's new in .NET 8? Okay. So okay, that's the framework. I'm more interested in the C# 12, I guess. It's nothing too important for us right now. Trying to find the one thing that looked interesting enough. Let's try C# 12 new features. Okay. And I think that was collection expressions. The optional parameters for lambda expressions are also interesting, but I don't have a use case for that. But this is really nice. You can shorten the initialization of an array like that. Saves some time and looks really intuitive. I mean, that's something I would try doing without knowing anything about the C#, so this looks great. Yeah, no problem. I wanted to like talk about this anyway, so that's a great point in time right from the beginning, right? So we'll see if I can find a way to incorporate this. Okay, so the texture It's actually gonna be the sprite sheet. Well, let's put it inside the constructor. Like this. And there we can see another hint for the use primary constructor. That's the other change. Let's see how it looks. Now you can define the constructor right in the class header definition. And this means another nice shortcut for the constructor signature. You can initialize the fields right from the like this. So also makes it shorter. Well, we can keep it as it is. Hopefully it's gonna be understandable seeing it for the first time. Yep. So what else we need? We will have the update method, of course. We will have the draw method. Drawing this is gonna be slightly different than usual. We're gonna have the rectangle that we are going to use as the source from the texture sprite sheet. And we will have to calculate this rectangle inside the update based on the direction. The ship is going either left, right, or straight on. And also there's the animation for the thruster. So this will just go with time. I was thinking like the first 1 second, third, and then go in the other direction, like the second and the first again. So it's gonna oscillate between those frames. So for that, we're gonna need something like the frame time. I don't know, let's call it frame time. And it's, I'm not sure. Let's do something like 100 milliseconds, so 1/10 of a second for a frame. So that's like 10 FPS for the animation. We'll see if it's too slow, too fast, how it's gonna look. Okay, so, and we also need to keep check of the current frame. So let's call it like a current frame. So the sequence is gonna be like 0, 1, 2, 1, 0. Then go again 1, 2, 1, 0. Maybe like this. Repeating this pattern. So let's start by updating the frame time. The frame time. Let's reduce that with the time. And then if the frame time is less than 0, we're gonna adjust things like frame time. We're gonna again increase it by the frame time. And now we have to handle the current frame logic. It's gonna be slightly more elaborate, since we can't just keep increasing it by 1. We have to like switch directions, like going up and down, up and down. Okay, so I might have something like increment and have it like current frame increased by the increment, and then we have to do another logic to set up the new increment. Something like if the current frame is 2, we should set the increment as -1. If the current frame is 0, gonna go the other direction. Is that all we need? Is this gonna work? Since we can't arrive at the boundaries from the other side, this should be okay. Start at 0, go to 1, go to 2, then we switch back to 1, to 0. Oh, okay, this could work. So I should like refactor this into a new method. This extract method and call it, I don't know, update animation. And I like to have this down there. Okay. You can use primary constructor with inheritance. I really don't know yet. This is like the first project I'm using .NET 8 on, so I haven't studied the changes that much. But it would make sense, definitely. I would expect it to work like this. I think it's just a shorthand for the constructor definition. Okay, so we're updating the animation. That's the current frame. Okay, then we need to update the direction. If we are going left, right, or not. And then we have to recalculate based on that the rectangles, the source rectangle for the texture. So let's put it there in the update as well. Something like if using the standard input manager that I'm having, there's just one method right now is key down, which is basically this. I could use this instead, but I like to wrap the thing in my input manager in case. So this key down. Let's use these standard arrow keys, I guess. Oh, and I think I want to be able to fly up and down as well, right? Okay, so let's have another vector or let's call it direction. It's gonna be 0. So this if the input manager, okay, then the direction x is -1. We are gonna do the other. It's gonna be +1. Up is minus, right? Okay. And what I like to do is normalize the vector so that the diagonal speed is the same, and speed is another thing we need. Let's put it somewhere, I know. So if the direction and also I need to I need to reset the direction, right? I need to reset it so that it works only when you are holding down the key. Okay. Okay. So this will update the controls. Do we need anything else? I don't think so. Let's extract this into the controls. And based on the current frame and the direction, we need to okay, so having this primary constructor, I would like to do like some logic inside the constructor anyway. I think I have to scrap this and do the standard constructor anyway, because I need to calculate a few things based on the texture loaded, like the dimensions. Okay, so what I need is like a frame. Let's make it a point. Frame size. And our spreadsheet is 3 by 3. So that's texture width divided by 3 and texture height divided by 3. Okay, it's can still use the primary constructor. Okay, let's see how this looks. Okay, that makes sense. Cool, cool. Right. It's nice. And that should be all we need to calculate the rectangle right now. So the rectangle's gonna be so that's for the straight direction, right or left. Let's have it like right there. So let's say we need the column. The column is actually gonna be the current frame. So that's 0, 1, 2. Okay. So we don't need the column, that's the current frame, but for the row, this is based on the direction. I can do just a few ifs, not to bother with it. So if direction X is less than 0, yeah, let's do it like this. So the default row is 0, we're going straight on. If the direction is to the left, let's start it more to the right. That's gonna be the row 1. And left is row 2. Okay. Hello, Lentelit. So the rectangles gonna now be, we need the let's do X, Y, and width and height. Or if already got the frame size in a point, So we could do this size and location. Location in a point. Okay. So let's try something like this. That should be the top left corner. So that's just the... First we need the X. That's the column, right? So the current frame times the frame size width. That's X. And for the Y, it's gonna be row times frame size Y. I recently started learning MonoGame. I have found your channel very helpful, so thank you for all the content. You are very welcome. Thank you for liking it. Now for the rectangle, it's gonna be just the location and frame size, and that should be it. And let's again extract this. Let's call it, I don't know, update rectangle. Okay. And we should also update the position itself, right? And that's easy. We'll just take the current position and update it with the direction times speed times time. I can leave that in the update, it's just one line. Okay, so this updates the position. And lastly, just to do the draw, gonna use the texture, but then we need the source rectangle. Is it this? I guess. So the rectangle, but that's just the destination. We need the other one. Okay, so that's the destination and source. That's not what I need. I need the right there, the position and the source rectangle. So the position is going first, like this. Any color is gonna be white, like no tint. And this should do the drawing. Got the controls. So this might be all we need for the player's ship right now to move it around and animate, hopefully. So we need to make the instance for the ship. A ship, let's call it just a ship. Okay, that's interesting. is the, what's it called? Primary constructor. Do I have to, like, I don't know. How do you use this? You can use the navigation bar to switch contexts. Really not sure what that means. Does not see the. Okay. But it's building correctly. I guess the plugin for Visual Studio might be outdated. As it's building and working, it's just there. Yeah. How do I? I don't know. Let's ignore this for now. I think we just need the texture, right? Okay. What's it called? The ship. Okay, but this is stressing me out. I don't like red squigglies. This is working. Okay. I don't know. Let's try it in action. Then we can figure the rest. Okay. I think the animation is working perfectly, or at least it's as intended. Ship could be faster. And one thing we haven't done is setting the boundaries. But the rest is working. Okay. Except for this. Not sure if I can like do anything about it. There are no updates for the packages. Can try restarting really quickly if that helps. Okay, seems it did help. Okay, cool. You're saved. So that was just the Visual Studio being weird. Okay, so let's increase the speed and let's introduce some kind of boundaries. Let's call this source rectangle instead, and inside the position update, let's do some clamping. That's right. Okay. That's the actual value. And that's the min. That should be like 0. And for the max, that's gonna be interesting. So this is gonna be like the global window size x minus frame size x, and the same for the y. Yes. Like this. Let's extract this into update position. Let's see again. Okay, so I can't get off screen right there. The ship's moving faster. And I'm also constrained there. Okay, cool. And this should be all the controls the player's gonna need. The ship should be firing as fast as it can, so there's no fire button needed. It's just gonna constantly shoot. The animation speed is okay, I guess. Not too slow, not too fast, just right. Okay, so we've got the player's ship with animation and controls. No shooting yet. One more thing we're gonna need is the rectangle for the collisions. I'm just gonna use the easiest AABB collision detection. Let's do like something like this, and it's just gonna be the position to point with the frame size like this. Okay. So I guess it's time for the enemy ships, or let's do one more thing. The position is gonna start at the lower middle of the screen, I guess. Let's do something like window size X. I mean, it should be decreased by something, but I don't think this is going to work since the frame size is gonna be calculated, I guess, later on or at the same time as this. Let's just do it like that. 32. And for the Y, let's do Y minus something, 800. Okay. Guess that's good enough. Okay. No, let's do, I don't know. Should I start with just a single ship? I guess. Let's call it the enemy. So, the enemy. Not sure about the movement of the enemy, how it should work. It might just randomly move around the screen, I guess. Just pick a random point on the screen, move there, and once it gets there, just move to another point and just travel around the screen. Yeah. Why not? So, that's the texture. We will also need let's get all of these and we'll cherry pick. Since we've got the animations for the enemies as well. It just doesn't have the tilting for going sideways. So for the position, direction, it will have to move, so I will keep the direction in. They're gonna be, let's say, slower. We need the texture, so we need the source, the frame time as well, current frame. This is gonna be the same. I mean, there could be some base class for both of these, but let's not bother right now. The frame size is gonna be there's just one row, so the height is gonna be, but the width is the third, and the collision rectangle is okay. Okay, then we're gonna have to do, let's just copy all of these. It's pretty much gonna be the same. Right. So for the update animation, it's gonna be the same. Okay. Current frame. It's gonna zig and zag as well. The controls definitely gonna be different. So let's delete that. Update rectangle. That's the source rectangle for the animation. We don't have rows, we've just got one. So we don't need this. that's gonna be 0. Okay. And this is the same. So this should be okay for the enemies. Other than the movement, we need to figure out the movement somehow. We can do that later. Let's do the enemy manager. Which will take care of all the enemies, all the enemy ships. Something like a list of enemy. Let's call it enemies. Then shade the list. I guess we don't have to see this anymore. Let's have a method to add the enemy. And we'll just add it to the list. Why is this not working? Okay, it needs to be static, of course. The initialization can be simplified. Is that something new from the... Okay. That's another change for the .NET 8 or C#12. We can initialize the list like that now. Okay. Let's rename it. Read only. Okay. Let's do the updates. Update enemies. And that will simply go through the enemies. So let's say for each update. Let's do the same to draw them. Simple stuff. Okay, that's all we need for the enemy manager right now, I guess. I mean, instead of providing the instance of the enemy, we could like generate one right there. We just need like the position, I guess, the initial position. Can we set the position? We can. Okay, let's do it like that instead. Let's say we need a position. And for now we need the texture, right? Content load a texture. Not sure what the name is. Name 1. And then we need to set the position. It's gonna say we can again optimize this. Okay, let's do it like that. And we've got like 2 different sprite sheets. So we can do something like randomize that. just to switch to different textures. So if that's a 0, let's return actually 1 or 2. Okay. Okay. Did not know that. Okay, so something like this. This should randomly pick either enemy 1 or 2. Hopefully 1 or 2. Okay, this could be done multiple times. For some reason I've chosen this one. It's gonna work either way. Okay, and this is just like the this has no impact on the function of the enemy. It's just looking differently. We might change that. It's okay for now. And now we just need to spawn a few enemies, I guess, to see them working. Let's do the enemy manager update. Draw. And there, let's add an enemy at some random location. Let's add a few of them. So, let's see. Okay. The animation is okay. The randomness is there. Okay. Cool. So now we need to make them move. And for that, let's say we've got the animation. I'm thinking I'm just gonna do it as I've mentioned. Just pick a random point on the screen, go there. Once there, pick another point and just float around the screen. So let's do something like destination. And let's have like a private vector2 method to, I don't know, get random position. And so this should just return new vector. For the x, we're gonna need the randomness, right? Let me think. Just for the x, let's do like this. It's gonna be 0 to the window size, but again we need to reduce it by the frame size x. For the y, I'm not sure I want them to go all the way down, so let's say they are gonna go like, and that's int, right? Right. Let's start with like half screen. You know what? Let's allow them to go like anywhere. We'll see how that works out. Now I'm just not sure about this being calculated at the right time. If I do something like this, no, we can't anyway. I could make this static, right? But now I don't have this exactly. But I really don't need this. I mean, the frame size is gonna be constant anyway, so we can just look at it. 144. If we do just like 144 divided by 3, that's 48 pixels. Let's do it just like this. We're gonna cheat a bit, but hey, that's okay. So let's return this new vector. And that's the destination where it wants to get. Destination. Okay. Make this read-only as well. I was thinking about the speed not being constant. We can update this anytime. Okay, so now we need to make the ship go towards the destination. And I'm thinking what's the best way. Okay, let's just I guess use this position. We need to calculate the direction. So the direction is gonna be like the destination minus the current position. That's the destination vector, which I guess we need to normalize. Okay. Let's do it like this. If direction is not 0, let's normalize. we don't need to clamp the position because it will never want to go off the screen. So we've got the direction and the rest is the same. But once we reach the destination, or we are close enough, we should pick a new one. So let's do something. If I know where to do distance, is it distance between the position and the destination is less than, I don't know, let's say 5. Let's in float. We're gonna set a new destination point. So something get random position. That's this, right? Okay. Is this okay? Okay. So it's going to update the direction like on each frame, which might not be needed. I could calculate the direction only when changing the destination right there, right? It's gonna be slightly faster. I mean, we won't recognize anything, but it makes sense. Something like this. If the in the very first frame of the game is gonna be weird, but you won't notice, I guess. We get the new destination and then we calculate the direction today. Okay, it could work. We'll see. Okay. The position. Okay, we're starting with the direction of 0, so it's not moving. We need to get the initial direction. Destination there. Let's actually move this calculation inside this method. But it's static now, right? Oh, damn. Okay. We're gonna have to rethink a few things. So let's rename this to set random destination. Let's not bother with initializing this. We're gonna do it in the, where is it? Let's make it public. Let's use it right there. Instead, okay, so it's gonna pick a random point and set the direction. And actually, instead of returning this to anywhere, we can set it to the destination. Okay, so this should work now, hopefully. Where is it? I may set random destination, right? There's a problem somewhere, right? Just need to do this. So that's our new destination point, getting the direction, normalizing it. Okay. It has to work now. Okay, cool. Okay, looks random enough. I don't mind them like going over each other. That's okay. I'm thinking whether they are too fast or is that okay? That seems kind of hard to be honest, but hey, it's old school. Okay, so that's the enemy movement. Looks okay. So, sorry. We should get to the shooting part, right? So the player ship will be firing all the time. The enemy ships, I'm not yet sure whether they should fire or just try to bump the player. We'll see which one is more fun. But let's start with the player shooting and we'll see. Okay. So let's create a projectile as usual. Projectile just singular. And let's not do this right now. We're gonna need the texture. We're gonna need the position. I think it can be private. Then we will need the direction. I mean, could go just straight up, but we might later come up with different angles of firing. Let's prepare for that. Okay. The direction. We will need the rectangle for the collisions. And this is gonna be position and the texture bounds. Not sure which one is that. Guess width and height of the rectangle. Okay, should be okay. Then definitely the update. Draw. Draw. Draw should be easy. Draw should be easy. Just the texture, the position, and the color is gonna be white. I mean, once we start firing at an angle, we will need to add the rotation as well. I'm not sure we'll get there, so let's not bother with this right now. So the update's gonna just change the position. With the speed. Okay. Maybe float. Let's say it's read only as well. I don't know. Let's say 700. So that's the projectile. It's just gonna fly somewhere, and we will handle the collisions elsewhere. Okay. And we will also handle the projectile somewhere. Let's put it inside the game manager, I guess. We've got the enemies. The ship. Okay. Let's do something similar to this. Let's do like the projectile manager. It's gonna be the list of projectiles. Let's say add projectile. Where do we want it? say it's gonna be like this, projectile 1. Oh, we don't have the constructor. Let's try the new thing. Okay. Then let's add it there. Okay, and let's just update and draw them. Cool. And the reason I'm doing it so that I can, from anywhere, I can add a new projectile, like from the update of the player's ship. So we will need some kind of firing speed. Like, I don't know. Let's call it next shot. Or shot cooldown. Not really sure about the firing speed. Let's try. I don't know. 4 shots per second. Okay. So let's start by updating the cooldown. Then saying if it is less than 0, we will do stuff. So first, let's increase it with the cooldown again, and then we should create new projectile. So that's like projectile manager, add projectile at this position. The position is not that correct, since it's the top left corner. So we can do like position X. It's like 9 pixels. Let's say 10, that's 5. The ship is 48. So half of that is 24. Minus the width of the projectile, so let's say 20. Let's say 20, and the Y could be the same. That should be all right. Okay, so this will add a projectile. And we should definitely remove any projectiles that are too far. Let's actually make this public anyway. So, and let's handle this in the I should say update projectiles. And let's say projectiles, remove all. Just to be consistent, let's rename this as well. If the position Y is, I don't know, less than minus 20. So it's if it's off screen, it's gonna be removed. Okay, so is that all? We need to update this projectile manager as well. Now, let's see the order of things. We first move the ship, we move the enemies. Then we check with the projectiles. That seems okay. But the layering of stuff. Definitely want the ship to be all visible. So that should be last. The projectiles should cover the enemies, but in that case they should collide and do damage. Okay. Guess the ship should be firing now if everything is correct. Are we setting up the positions? The position, projectile position is not set. Right, we need to set the position. So let's say position. What are we doing there then? Oh, I thought it's going to be the right. It's oh, we are never setting it. Okay, well, we are. Okay, cool. Let's see. Okay, the direction isn't moving. Okay, that's this warning about, but the projectiles are getting created. Perfect. Then the direction is private. Okay, let's say it's gonna be 0, 1, -1. That should be straight up. Okay, cool. The firing rate seems okay. Just let me know if you don't agree. Oh. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, so the ship is firing now. That's very cool. Let's get to the collision system then. we've got the projectiles. Okay, let's do the collisions, and we should handle that inside the game manager. Like right there. Okay. Handle collisions. Let's call that right there. So should go through projectile has the collision rectangle as well. That's cool. So the enemy manager, let's do it like that for each, or let's use this enemy inside the enemy manager enemies. And since I will be removing stuff, let's make a copy. Enemy collision rectangle intersects. Yeah, and we need to go through the other list, like projectile manager projectiles. Let's copy this as well. Intersects with projectile collision rectangle. We're gonna do stuff. So first, let's just cancel them out for now. So the enemy ships will just have like 1 HP. Yeah. Let's do like enemies. Remove enemy. And the same for the projectile. Remove this. Is it not liking there? Expect it. Okay, there should be if. Is that correct? I guess. You go through the enemies. Oh, we could like also say something like break. Because this enemy will be deleted. So we will break out of this loop. I should go to the next, right? Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Looks like it's working. So now we definitely need more enemies, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Something in my throat. then let's take a look at the enemy manager, and we should generate more enemies as time goes. So let's say like a fabric load. Let's call it spawn cooldown, and let's have like one every second or half a second. Okay. So like this. Let's say one cooldown. Again, we know this already. I could make a constant for that, right? Oh, never mind. And let's add a new enemy, but we need to make some kind of random position for that. Let's make it private. And I will want to make them at the top of the screen, like start of the screen. Let's do this, and let's say something like the X, it's gonna be next can be right, the globe, the window size. Oh, that's okay. That's the X, and for the Y, let's say minus 100. Let's actually do it like this. Okay. I do it like that. Generate position. So instead of having the position there, let's use this. Okay, this should work. Let's start with a few of those. 5. Like so. But inside the update, we need to call this as well, right? So every half a second, a new enemy will spawn. Okay, let's see. Okay. So this is working. I think there could be a lot more of them. Let's coil it like a small rate. You know. Like that. And there, they might be slightly faster as well. Okay, cool. Okay, let's add the player collision as well. So let's call this handle enemy collisions. Let's do handle player collision. So this is gonna be the same. We're gonna do every enemy, but we don't need to check for more than one player. So intersects, what's it called, a ship, right? Ship collision rectangle. Stuff will happen. For now, I think we should just, restart the game. Having just one life seems fair. That's how it goes. Let's do the restart method then. Restart. Okay, let's add reset to every manager then. So the enemies will clear. On cooldown could reset. For the projectile manager, do the same. Let's clear all the projectiles. And for the ship, the direction is 0. Maybe don't have to do that, it's automatically 0 at every update, right? Let's actually not do this. But the shot cooldown. I need position, right? Should reset as well. like this. What else? The animation. The animation, I don't know, does not matter that much. It's gonna be calculated anyway. Not that important. And well, I think that's all. Let's say ship restart. Memory manager. Make it public, of course. Restart this and the projectile manager. Done. Anything else? I don't think so. Okay. So once we collide with a ship, we are going to restart, and that's all. That could be some score counter as well, right? So let's try colliding. Okay. Yeah, right. Seems okay. Okay. So we could definitely use some score counter to make it more interesting. Okay, perfect. So we've got the collisions. Oh, there's also the explosion animation that's prepared there. There's another type of the projectile. Let's add the explosions then. Could we handle the enemy deaths? That's in the right there, right? Something. Yeah, we are just removing them. And I should like generate the explosion animation at this point. So let's make a new class for that. Explosion. It's gonna be again similar to this. Let's actually copy it all. Let's call it explosion. We're just gonna need the texture probably. And a position. Not sure what's the dimensions. 48, looks like 48 by 48. Okay. Then position, gonna be the position. We don't need the direction or the speed. We need this, we need this, this. We don't need this one. Take a look at this. How many frames are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 frames. And we don't need the collisions. We don't need this. We will need this. We don't need to update any of these. We just need to draw. Okay. This seems okay. Okay. And we just need to update the animation. And once we reach the last frame, we should remove this. And this can be handled easily. Okay. So I'm gonna make the animation speed the same. That's just gonna be 1 through 7. And right, so this. Current frames just gonna increase. Yeah, it should work. We don't need this. Yeah, I've deleted the source rectangle, right? That's something we need. Update rectangle, right? Rectangle. That's the current frame, frame size. Okay. And the source rectangle is like this. Okay. Right, this should be okay. And I think I'm gonna do the explosion manager just to keep it in the same fashion as all the other things. Let's do like explosions. Restart's gonna clear the list. Let's edit there until I forget. Then add a explosion at a position. I don't like reloading this, so I'm gonna do a trick, I guess. Something like a texture 2D. Let's make it private. Let's say texture. And when adding new explosion, let's check if the texture is already loaded or not. Something like texture, if it's not there, it's gonna load. Otherwise, we're just gonna use it. And there we need this should be explosion. Like so. Okay. Then we will update. This will update the animation that's going through the frames, selecting the frame from the spreadsheet. That's all right. But then we are going to remove anything that is, let's make this public. It's current frame. Like this. Let's say current frame is bigger than 7. Right, this should work. Let's just draw them. And of course the texture is explosion. Right. Is that all? Play. We just need to update and draw it. Okay, and this should be named update explosions. Draw explosions. And the draw. Let's put it on top, I guess. Then we just need to generate the new explosion. So let's add this position. And this could be the position of the ship that just exploded. So that's handle enemy positions. Let's do it there. Manager and explosion enemy position, like so. Okay, this should show us the explosion animation. Okay, cool. Works. I mean, might be a little faster, right? Let's make it faster. So let's do the frame time be, I don't know, twice as fast. Okay, I forgot to change it down there as well. That's why you should use the constants instead. Okay, that's more like it. Okay. Oh. Of course, we could add like sounds, music, some background images, but those are, let's say, easy tasks. could have seen the sound effects in the previous stream. That's just one line of code. That's not that interesting. Definitely makes the game better and look or sound livelier. But I don't have any sound effects at hand. Let's add the score counter. That's something that is nice to see. So let's generate the sprite font. And yeah, I don't know. I like the Homa. Could be like 36. Let's make it bold. And let's load the texture. Let's use the game manager. So we load the font. It's called a font. What's wrong there? Oh, right. Yeah, just loading. Then we should have some score counter then. Let's do like, I don't know, score. Don't need this. It's gonna be reset. And just draw the number and increase the counter like there. And do the drawing. Let's do it last so it's on top. That's just sprite batch draw string. I think that's the font. We need the text then, right? So that's the score to string. I believe it's the position. Okay. Let's just put it in the top left corner simply. And the color is gonna be white since the background is black. And this again should be all we need. Simple. Okay, there we go. Okay, looks like I'm not great at this. Let's get to at least 10. Okay, cool. Okay, that seems easy. So how are we doing? We've got the we don't have the enemy projectiles. We've got the explosion. We've got the score. I'm not sure I'm ready for any power-ups. So the other thing we could add is the enemy projectiles. I mean, I've done this fairly faster than I expected, so there's maybe some time left. I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you interested in the enemy projectiles? Should they fire back at us? Okay, I've switched the direction of the second projectile, and we could use it for the enemies. I mean, since we are doing that great, let's add the enemy firing as well. We could use the projectile manager. Let's call it enemy projectiles. Let's add enemy projectile with this position. Let's do the same trick with the texture so we don't have to load it again and again. It's not gonna be read-only. It's just gonna be a texture projectile. Let's do the enemy projectile. Let's do it like this. Hello, Blue Knight. Welcome. Nice to see you too. Okay. So, loading the projectile texture and placing it there. Okay, cool. For the enemies, let's do the same. But it's gonna be the second one. Okay, so the projectile has the direction fixedly set. Let's change this to a thingy there instead, I guess. Because for the enemies, I want them to go from top to the bottom. Okay. So this one's gonna have the direction of -1. This one will be the other. Okay, then. So I think that's all we need. Okay, we need to update the other set. So that's the enemy projectiles. Enemy projectiles remove all that's bigger than global Windows size. You know, Windows size Y. Yeah, that could be enough. And let's draw them. Okay. Hello, app SS. So we are almost done with the project. We are just adding the, I think the last thing we need, that's the enemy projectiles. Okay, one more thing there. We need to clear it in the restart. Projectiles clear. Cool. Now, let's make them fire at us. So they will need some kind of firing cooldown as well. So that's the short cooldown. We don't have a... Let's be consistent and have a const there as well. So we need this for the enemy. Well, I don't know, place it somewhere around there. Should cool down, right? And the enemy will fire like once a second. What else we need? Don't need to restart the enemy. Need to have it in the update, like so. Add the enemy projectile. And the size, the other one has more width. It's just 9. It's 116. That's like 4 or 5 pixels more. So we've done like 4 there. So we need to do like 8, right? The enemy is, I don't know. What's 144 divided by 3? 48, okay. 20, so like 16, I guess. Let's try a 16. But the position Y should be like at the bottom. So that's frame size Y. So this should generate a new projectile every second for every enemy. Okay. Are we drawing them? We are, so we should see them immediately, right? They are just not gonna collide. Okay, that's a lot of projectiles. I think their projectiles should be slower. Or will that make it even harder? I'm not sure. But I'm gonna make the ships slower now since they are firing. Let's see how that looks. Can we do something about the speed? This would need to be like another constructor parameter, but that's okay, I guess. Float speed, let's try. And let's do the layer ones. The enemies. Let's see how it looks now with the speeds. Okay, So that's less frantic. I mean, everything could speed up with time, but it's not something we need to do now. So the last thing is the collision detection, and we've already got something like this. Then let's do it for the projectile in projectile manager, and the enemy projectiles. I don't think we need to do this. Don't even need to do this. Yeah, that's all we need. Let's, okay, it's not correct. Enemy projectiles, why? That's interesting. Collision rectangle. I don't see anything wrong there. Enemy projectiles, am I adding it? Oh, I'm adding it to the wrong list. So they were actually friendly firing themselves. That's funny. Okay. Okay, let's try getting shot. Okay, I think it's working. Right. Cool. Okay, so there you have it. I think that was the plan. It's kind of hard, right? Okay. Hope. Super hard. I mean, I will again commit it to the repository so you can try for yourself. Let me know what's your highest score. Since seems I can't get like past 3 points. Nope, it's really hard. I mean, there's so many shots. Nowhere to hide. Nope. Okay. Not the easiest game. And okay, then I think that's gonna be it for this project, since I don't plan to do anything about the power-ups. I mean, there are ideas, but I think it's okay as it is. got the score, etc. Okay. So unless anyone has a special request or anything else, I think it's gonna be it for this stream. In the end, this was easier than I expected it to be. It was nothing super hard that we had to resolve. We've tried the new .NET 8 C#12 language update. We've used the new construction. That's nice. The new list initialization as well, which is somewhere around there. It's also nice. So I guess those changes will be used most commonly. Okay, so thank you for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a suggestion as usual. Join the Discord if you want to stay in closer touch, discussing a lot of things there. Feel free to join and have a nice rest of the day. I will see you soon. Bye bye.